Welcome to B2, the greenhouse effect. This is part 4, where we will focus on greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases we see are the last few standards in the subtheme, and we'll check them off as we progress through the video to see what we actually touch on. No equations here specifically relevant to the standards in this video. Not a lot of mathematical calculations will take place here. A lot of this is theory, the theory of the greenhouse effect and how it works. So here I put 6 steps here that are covering the basic process that you need to know, that they will test you on how the greenhouse effects works in general. I have a little sun here for illustration. Let's see if we could get a visual of how this process is working. So we have the sun. They tell us that the sun's visible light passes through the Earth's atmosphere. So I could draw the Earth maybe somewhere down here as the ground. We have atmosphere somewhere like that. That's our atmosphere, we could imagine. Radiation from the sun is emitted in all directions, including into our Earth, into its atmosphere. And it passes through the atmosphere. Most of the radiation will pass through the atmosphere and hit our ground, either the ocean or the ground. Some of the light will be absorbed, some will be reflected. What happens to the surface of the Earth when it absorbs that light? Well, it warms up, causing radiation to be emitted, right? We learned about how if a body becomes warmer and warmer, it will emit radiation. Infrared radiation will be emitted from the Earth, like maybe, so we'll put this in maybe pink here, right? So we have infrared radiation, which is being emitted due to the heat of the Earth. And that infrared radiation will be absorbed by greenhouse gases, which are in our atmosphere. We'll see what the greenhouse gases are, but the main ones that we want to know are, I'll list them now quickly, CO2. We also have methane, water evaporation, and nitrous oxide, right? So we see here are the main 4 that they want you to know. Those are coming from both natural and human activity. And what happens? Well, so the greenhouse gases will absorb, right? So they're being absorbed, or they're absorbing the infrared radiation that was emitted from the Earth's surface. And as a result, what happens? Again, those gases will re-emit infrared radiation in all directions, some of which will return back to our Earth, right? So some of which will start coming back down to our Earth. Some of it will go out into space as well. But because some of this radiation comes back to Earth, it will cause our Earth to be continuously heated, leading to greenhouse effect and the increase in temperature of our planet. Right, so in effect, we could see the final effect is it reduces the amount of energy that is leaving the planet, causing the Earth to become more and more warm. As I mentioned, the main greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, CO2, water vapor, methane, and nitrous oxide. They want you to know those main 4 for our examinations. As we said, what are the implications? The implications are climate change. Since with more and more of the greenhouse gases being released into our atmosphere and staying in our atmosphere, that is causing less energy to leave our planet, causing an increase in energy in our planet, otherwise known as an increase in temperature. That's what the greenhouse effect is, and climate change. So that was a general background that they want you to know. Here we're also going to look at this idea of carbon dioxide and how greenhouse gases absorb infrared radiation at specific wavelengths. So in the case of CO2, let me actually sketch this out. Let me actually scroll down a bit. What do I want to see? Yeah, the resonance model. So this is good. We're going to talk about it again later on, this resonance model, but it refers to the idea, here we go, that greenhouse gases absorb radiation at specific wavelengths. So in the case of CO2, let me sketch it. On the y-axis, I would have in this case, it's the percent absorbed. Percent absorbed. Here we have wavelength. And the general idea that they want you to know is that CO2 will absorb the infrared radiation at specific wavelengths. This is known as the resonance model. Specific wavelengths will be absorbed and others will be less so for carbon dioxide. If we look at water vapor, interesting enough, it gets less media attention, but it's more prevalent than CO2, and it also has a significant impact. Why? Let me actually sketch. So I make the same sketch. The percent of the infrared radiation that is absorbed with respect to percent absorbed and the wavelength. And in the case of water vapor, it will actually absorb significant amounts of radiation at a greater number of wavelengths. So it will look something like this, even more than in CO2, which gets a lot of the media attention. So you can see that more wavelengths will be absorbed by the greenhouse gas of water vapor, which what we see there, it absorbs a wider range of infrared lengths, which enhances its effect, the greenhouse effect. So it is able to absorb more of our infrared radiation, which causes a greater feedback loop. So here we have again the CO2, 3 distinct peaks. I made 3.5. Maybe I'll make this one a little bit less. Whereas the water vapor has significantly more. Scroll down. Right, so here we have a chart on the effect of the 4 main gases that we are responsible for. Water vapor, as I said, it is abundant and also it's able to absorb a greater range of wavelengths, leading it to have a significant impact on the greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide we see is moderately abundant. It absorbs less wavelengths than in comparison to the H2O or the water vapor. Methane is less abundant, and nitrous oxide, which I believe comes from agricultural industry, is even less abundant, though it has a fairly strong absorption. And then we could see the list of impact that these greenhouse gases have. Again, as a review in another chart, we have solar radiation. What happens? It warms the surface, leading to infrared radiation, which causes energy to move back towards space. If the energy were to completely leave, we wouldn't see this greenhouse effect or the warming of the planet. But because our atmosphere contains these greenhouse gases, the atmosphere absorbs some of this infrared radiation, causing it to re-emit infrared radiation, some of which returns back to our Earth. This feedback process causes our planet to warm up. Now, the resonance model, a vocabulary word that you should know. It refers to this selective absorption, where we saw those specific wavelengths that were absorbed. H2O absorbed more wavelengths than CO2, but you want to understand the idea that this resonance model refers to the idea that greenhouse gases absorb specific wavelengths of infrared radiation. Another model that we have that explains the greenhouse effect is the molecular energy model. And this refers to the idea that the greenhouse gases, that they are initially in their lowest energy state in the atmosphere, the infrared radiation causes them to heat up, and by heating up, it causes them to emit infrared radiation itself, some of which returns back to, so some of the radiation shoots back, it goes in all directions, but some of it comes back to our planet. This feedback process is also refers to this idea of the greenhouse effect. So in the case of molecular energy model, the energy from infrared radiation causes the molecules to heat up out of its natural state. To get back to its natural state, it has to release photons or energy, and that energy is in all directions, some of which comes back to our Earth, heating up the planet. Let me go and check off some more standards to see what we touched on. As I mentioned, it's a little bit different than our more mathematical based videos. Here we want to make sure that we cover some of the central ideas that you need. And these ideas are not particularly mathematical, but more theoretical in nature. So we touched on this, the absorption of infrared radiation can be explained in terms of the molecular energy levels, like we mentioned, and also with respect, we could also refer to the resonance model, which discussed or illustrated the different wavelengths that were absorbed. And all of this, we said in general, human activity enhances these effects, right? We contribute greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, which contribute to the re-emission, which contribute to the absorption of infrared radiation from the sun, which is coming from the reflection off of the Earth's surface, and then some of those greenhouse gases will absorb this infrared radiation and re-emit the infrared radiation in all directions, some of which come back to our planet. Where do we leave off? As a result, this overall effect leads to the temperature rise, which we've been seeing on our planet, changes in weather patterns, and ecosystems. Now let's take a look at a few MCQs, which are ways that they could test you on these ideas. Again, not very mathematical or mathematical at all. They mainly want you to understand these ideas. Based on what we learned, what would you say is the answer to what is the primary function of methane in the greenhouse effect? Methane, like the other three greenhouse gases, what does it do? It primarily, A, B, C, or D. Think about it for a minute. Shouldn't take more than that. If you think back to the initial diagram that we had, the sun emits infrared radiation, which goes through the atmosphere, hits the Earth, comes back. Some of that radiation, which is coming back from the Earth, is absorbed by the greenhouse gases, such as methane. Those greenhouse gases will heat up and re-emit the infrared radiation in all directions, including back to the Earth, causing the greenhouse effect. Answer choice A is the best answer. It doesn't primarily absorb radiation from the sun because the infrared radiation or the radiation from the sun tends to go through the atmosphere, hits the Earth first, and then on its way back out, it's absorbed by the greenhouse gases. It reflects radiation. The reflection is not the problem. The problem is that it absorbs the infrared radiation, heats up, and causes it to shoot back. I wouldn't say that it reflects. And it definitely doesn't reflect radiation from the sun. Right? That's not it. The reflection, any reflection that the greenhouse gases do is not what causes the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is primarily from the absorption of the radiation, leading to re-emission of infrared radiation. Next question, which of the following statements best explains the greenhouse effect with respect, we could say here, I think I meant to say at the resonance model, within the resonance model, but nonetheless, you should be able to find the right answer. I'll work my way from the bottom now. Is the greenhouse effect referred to the fact that visible light is completely absorbed by their surface? That is not true. Some of the visible light is reflected. Ultraviolet radiation is reflected by gases. No, that's not mentioned in the greenhouse effect. That's not what we're referring to. Infrared radiation is not absorbed by the atmosphere. Quite the opposite, right? The greenhouse effect refers to the fact that certain gases absorb infrared radiation at specific wavelengths. That's the resonance model. And as a result, those gases will gain energy, leading to emission of infrared radiation, some of which reaches the Earth, and that is our greenhouse effect. Next question. Here we're talking about the energy. So here we're looking at in the molecular energy model. So we saw the resonance energy model referred to the different wavelengths that are being absorbed. What about the molecular energy model, which best describes that here? What happens to the energy in this model? Is it stored as chemical energy? If the energy was of the appropriate wavelength, that's kind of a mix of the resonance model, but it's incorrect. Does it refer to the fact that it's immediately released as sound energy? No, we didn't talk about that at all. Does it refer to the fact that what happens to the energy that is re-emitted as infrared radiation after energizing the molecules. That's exactly right. We talked about the fact that infrared radiation caused molecules to leave their natural state, warming up, and then those molecules will emit radiation as it shoots off the photon, or in order to return back to its natural state. Those emissions, again, refer to are another way to think about the greenhouse effect, and the D is not accurate as well. Again, the greenhouse effect, it causes significant changes to our climate, warming the planet. How can we mitigate this? The effects that we might see due to the greenhouse effect. One would be obviously to reduce emissions. Right? If we were able to transition to renewable energy and improve energy efficiency, we would see less emissions of greenhouse gases. Or we could try to remove there's some technologies out there that some people are looking for ways to remove greenhouse gases from the atmosphere in order to minimize the effect of the greenhouse gases on our climate, or prepare for the unavoidable. Right, so hopefully, maybe, right, so you could probably actually get some pretty interesting research for projects with 1 and 2 if you're still looking for an extended essay and you want to do it in the topic of physics. Might be interesting to explore the various top physics-based ideas and innovations that they're trying to develop. And you might be able to develop a fairly interesting extended essay if you're still looking for one within the realm of physics. But anyway, that brings us to the conclusion of this video, the topic of the greenhouse effect. I think we checked off everything. Let me see, a lot of slides here, not a lot of math. I think we checked off the main ideas, standards that were covered here. And I look forward to making more progress in the coming videos. I'll take a look to see if there's anything else I want to touch base on with respect to this subtopic. We might do one more video. But that brings us here to the conclusion of part 4 of B2.